Do you ever feel like critics get it wrong? Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 good British movies with a bad Rotten Tomatoes score.
You move, we die.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're running with a score threshold of 60%, as recorded on the popular review website Rotten Tomatoes. For every entry, the critic score falls below 60%, but the audience score soars above it. As well as this, we're looking at movies which have gone on to become popular cult classics, despite unfavourable reviews. Number 10, The Football Factory. What kind of a Watch Mojo UK hate-to-love style movie list would this be if we didn't include a Danny Dyer film? Based on a book trilogy by John King, The Football Factory scored a Rotten Tomatoes audience rating of 83%, which almost doubles the critic score of just 43%. The film's lack of critical acclaim was down in part to its laddishness and glorified violence, but these were probably the very reasons for its popularity with the movie-going masses. If there is a standard setter for football hooligan films, then it's this.
You want to wait till the game, or do you want to make one with me now? Don't punch above your weight, you long streak of piss. Well, stop punching your old woman about then, wanker.
Number 9, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
Can you just get around to telling me exactly what it is you want? What is it that you want?
This historical romp just wasn't able to siege the stony hearts of the critics.
I will show them strength and dignity. You will show them lies, weakness, and shame.
Unconvinced by the now oh-so-notorious David Beckham cameo, reviewers dismissed King Arthur Legend of the Sword as messy and a bit ridiculous, grading it at just 31%. Audiences, on the other hand, apparently enjoyed its trademark Guy Ritchie fast cuts and high-octane drama. To be fair, what's not to love about giant snakes and elephants, a furious Jude Law, and tons of CGI? It is truly a modern twist on an old classic tale. Number 8, Run Fatboy Run.
Should I not rub your boob then?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I can do the other one. As I'm here, I might as well just even it up. Sorry.
A marathon movie rather than a movie marathon, this Simon Pegg sports story left critics feeling rather exhausted, achieving a lowly 46%.
I can't breathe. My head's gonna explode.
The general public seemed to disagree, however, warming to its heart-filled message and moments of comedy brilliance. There's even a smattering of gross out included for fans of that kind of stuff. Hank Azaria, better known as the surly bartender Mo Sislak, as well as many other characters from The Simpsons, plays a worthy foe.
God damn it, will you stop messing around with the bed, you little s***?
And the delightfully deadpan humour and barefaced cheek of Dylan Moran gave it an extra dimension. Maybe critics were simply disappointed that it wasn't the much anticipated closing chapter to the Cornetto trilogy.
It's safe to say it's been a very long day for myself and my cameraman. It's been a very long day for you watching at home, but for Dennis Doyle, it's been the single longest day of his life.
Number 7, Mamma Mia.
Knew how to make an entrance.
Starring Meryl Streep and Pierce Brosnan amongst many other high-profile stars, Rotten Tomatoes critics mostly slam this production, claiming that it feels forced and hard to watch. Gaining 66% with audiences, though 11% higher than what critics gave it, real-life filmgoers seem to love its unapologetic, ultra-kitsch flamboyance. Packed full of ABBA's greatest hits, joyfully sung and choreographed by the cast, it is, in essence, a fun and definitely not so serious watch. And that's despite a former James Bond's questionable vocals, which left most of us shaken, stared, and scratching our heads.
So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS. The love you gave me, nothing else can save me. SOS.
Number 6, St. Trinians.
We're talking Mission Impossible.
That's a no.
If Tom Cruise can do it, so can we.
Featuring a who's who of mid-noughties British actors and celebrities, professional reviewers couldn't quite see past the hijinks and crudeness of the St. Trinian style of humour.
Daddy, look! They're bloody animals! Animals!
Yes, so
I'm going to kill them!
Calm yourself, darling. Just try to remember what your behavioural therapist said. Run along now. There's a good one.
Although it appears that for every cynical critic, there are several satisfied audience members. Clearly the film is pretty tongue-in-cheek from the outset, and as an anarchic boarding school comedy, it is pretty much on the money.
You've had this coming since the day you arrived, Fritten.
What are you going to do to me?
Give you a makeover, silly!
With plenty of cliques, chaos and cameos, including a gothic Paloma Faith and an academic Russell Brand, it's constantly fun and never attempts to be anything other than that.
Time for a little prayer.
Number 5, Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason.
What on earth are you doing?
Getting dressed.
Why are you dancing around in that tent business?
Because I don't want you to see any of my wobbly bits.
The second installment of this Renee Zellweger rom-com caused a ripple of discontent amongst film critics, so much so that its rating, rather surprisingly, is only at 27%. Its audience is obviously far more loyal to the franchise, however, scoring it at a much higher 60%.
I heard what magnificent work he actually did.
Some of the stuffier reviewers thought Edge of Reason to be a subpar follow-up, but it seems to pick up fairly well from where the first film left off, with Bridget's lovable awkwardness and eccentricity. Plus, it couldn't have been that bad if a third installment was eventually made, which, in fairness, was far better received.
Remember your yoga.
Yoga!
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. It's supposed to relax one, but I just spend the entire time clenching my sphincter in an effort not to fart.
Number 4, Johnny English.
You then break into this window here, work your way along the secure corridor, and penetrate Savage's office.
Yes, yes.
Is that okay, sir?
It's been okay ever since I thought up the idea, Bob.
If you hate this film, then chances are you're a film critic.
I know. I feel it too.
Slated by many as being a trite 007 parody, it drew multiple comparisons to Austin Powers, with the general consensus being that Mike Myers did it much better.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
But if you look past its worn parody cliches, you'll see that Johnny English enthusiastically embraces its exaggerated Britishness and lovable silliness. Since its release, it has been shown on TV countless times and has even been given 2 sequels, which speaks for itself.
The only thing the French should be allowed to host is an invasion. Sorry, can I help?
Plus, in addition to the genius of Rowan Atkinson, it has Ben Miller. How would you not be entertained?
He hasn't urinated on anyone, has he?
Number 3, Green Street.
Only thing regarded worse than a yank around here are coppers and journalists.
What do you got against journalists?
The gulf between critic and audience rating for this football hooligan drama is almost staggering, scoring 48% and 87% respectively.
Look, I don't want any trouble!
Seen as derivative, predictable and over-violent by its fault finders, cinema goers were pleasantly surprised by its Fight Club style story and entertainment value. Featuring a rather unexpected role by Middle-earth's very own Elijah Wood, who plays a Harvard dropout living in England, there are plenty of scraps and some surprisingly emotional moments. But the biggest question is this: where is Samwise when you really need him?
Well, Steve ain't here, is he, mate? I am.
Number 2, the Inbetweeners Movie.
Oh, yeah. No, that is horrible. It's awful when men do that. It's disgusting. Really bad.
Whilst many commentators couldn't see past this film's lads, lads, lads vibe, it has gained an army of fans nonetheless.
Seen them? Look cool.
A big screen adaptation from the popular television series, this Brits Abroad comedy sees Will, Simon, Neil and Jay head to sunny Malia, a notorious Greek holiday hotspot and favourite destination for British sunseekers. Much like the series, the Inbetweeners movie is highly awkward, occasionally offensive, and extremely cringeworthy.
I felt your heart so close to mine.
Right, well, I'm going to bed.
so it offers everything everyone expected. That it got a critical drubbing is arguably quite fitting. This lot are social outcasts to the end.
How'd it go, Carly? Long-term good, short-term horrific. Have you murdered her?
Number 1, Kevin and Perry go large.
Oh, hi, baby.
We're staying in sunny climates for this Harry Enfield and Kathy Burke classic. Rather bizarrely, it rates 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics apparently hating it across the board. Maybe they just didn't see it, because it rates at 70% with audiences, and has carved its own corner in British popular culture.
Oh, come on, son. You must eat something. You'll need the energy if you want to go bopping in a disco.
Based on two of the most popular characters from the 90s sketch show, Harry Enfield and Chums, the titular twosome fulfill their dreams by heading to Ibiza. Nostalgic, quotable, downright silly, and all-out hilarious, everything about it is synonymous with the late 90s British rave scene. The Rotten Tomatoes reviewers clearly weren't there. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.